Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's tutorial we are going to create a complete website using HTML CSS. In the main welcoming page we have slide background image, and the text above is slightly transparent, and we have main project section which include HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and a footer. In the navigation bar we have about page which have about and social media icon, site section. And in the services we have a title, and we have different services here, and we have a contact profile image and contact form. Without further ado, grab our text editor and start coding. Now let's create a new folder and call it web design, and open this using text editor. I'm using Visual Code Studio, so open Visual Code Studio and open folder and choose the folder that you name it, and we name it web design. Select our folder name is web design, and let's open side by side to see what's going on inside here. And as you see, this is empty, and let's create index file, index.html, and when you save it, here we have our file HTML. What's cool about Visual Code Studio is when you write HTML:5 and press tab, you generate the basic structure of HTML. And now let's open this file in Google Chrome to see the title, which will shown in a browser, is document. And let's quickly change this. Call it web design, and now when you save it, you see this is main body, and everything that we add, it will be shown here. In our page we have header, and we have navigation links. We have header on left, logo on left, and we have navigation links and main body and project, our section down here. In the body I want class which will wrap all content and create a div class, call it and inside the main wrapper I want header. In the header I want I have section called container, and it is class. And in the nav I want logo, which is, call it logo, code wave. Now we have the first text which appeared on the body is the header, and we have UL, and this is for the links. This is an ordered list, and this is a list which is will add the links, and call it index home. A new list which contain about, another list, let's call it service, and one last link. Now I have 4 links inside the nav, inside the header. Now let's create main, and inside the main create article. Article is ID, and call it main as well. Create a new section called container, and this container inside the article, give it the title, so welcome to my website. Now let's go to Lorem Ipsum to grab some text. This text between 2p, which means paragraph. Now we have a text, we have a logo, nav links, and main page. And let's add some sections that will contain image and text as well. Now after closing the article, open a new article, ID, a project. This is a title, and inside here create a section and add a class of container So give it a title name and open a new article which have ID of sections, and in this section create a new class, call it container as well, and in this class I want image and text and title of the text. So I start by figure, and inside the figure I want image. So this is our project, so add some image. Let's add here in order to customize. So now first image is HTML5, and below the image add figure caption, and in the figure caption I need title. Let's call it number 3, which is HTML5, and let's grab this text and add right below the title. Now let's copy this 3 times. Let's call it CSS, and let's call this JS, which is JavaScript, and let's change the title here into CSS3, and here let's JavaScript. Now I have JavaScript, CSS and HTML. Now let's add the footer, and in the footer create paragraph. In the paragraph, in order to write copyright here, you just press and copy semicolon and write the name 2023 and save it. Now we have a footer, we have project section, and we have main section, and we have nav link and Q-code web as logo. So now let's go here and create CSS style .css, and we need to link the style. Now we need to customize it. Now let's start styling our page, and we need the logo on top left corner and navigation links on right top corner, and main body and the project below. So let's start by body. In the body I want padding 0, add margin 0 as well, and let's add font family. I want Arial sans serif, and let's add background color. Background to be a soft white background over all the body. Header section, add the background, deep blue background for header section. I add the color code 003366. I want color to be white. I want font size to be 20 pixel. Font weight to be a little bit bolder. I want to add border at the bottom of the header section, so let's call it border back color to be 29AB87, and this to be 4 pixel solid. Now I have border button. Now let's customize the nav links, and for the nav links we give the color to be white, and let's say text decoration to take the underline is text decoration none, and let's add hover to the navigation links, and we use that by writing hover. In the hover color I want to give color of the border button, and it was done with the hover. Let's go to nav.logo. In the for dot here, when any section that is started with a class, if you want to customize the class, you need to choose dot, and any other semantic tag like nav, you just write nav. Nav.logo, I want color this white, font size to be bigger than navigation links, and let it make 30 pixel. And now for the header container here, we choose header container, and container is class. We write header dot container, For this, I want display grid template column to have one fraction for header and auto for the nav, and align item to be center. I want to have a gap between the h1 and nav to be 10 pixel. Padding, and this padding on the left and right side only, up and down 0 and 30 pixel from left and right side. Call it nav. And for the nav, I want display flex, align item to be center, justify content, space between, width to be 100%. All the nav, I want text to be uppercase, and in that we choose text transform uppercase. Call it nav UL. For this, I want display flex, gap between each one, so I call it gap, give it to 10 pixel gap. And for remove the dot, we choose list style none. Padding, give 10 pixel each side, call it nav UL list LE. And for this, I want margin around each list item to have margin, and this margin is let's target the main, and we have main here. The main is ID. The ID start with hashtag main, and the main is the text welcome to my website and text lorem ipsum. And for that, we display grid for the main and grid template columns. I want one fraction. I want the text to be on left, and the right side will be empty. One fraction for each. And now you see the text moved to left side, and I want to align item center. The text start from left. I want height to have 50% of main page. I want overflow to be hidden. In the main here, I want a background to be, image slide, and in that I choose background size is cover, and this animation to slide like 10 to 15 seconds, and let's choose 10 seconds and infinite, so it will always run. And in order to do that, we need to add keyframe, and this keyframe we use slide to add like 4 examples. So start from 0 background image, and we need to use URL. So go and grab background image that you want to add here. So this is our project environment, and go and grab image to add on a background. So I have here, and let's add more. I have my background image, so I just need to add here. And if you open the project here, you will find all the image here. So the first one, let's call it back1, and let's just copy this. So I have 4. I need this to be 33 and this 66 to be 100%. And now I need to change each image. So this is number 2, and call it IM goals, this one. Now I have added, I need to change the color in order to be seen. And here I have main, I need one. This is a title, welcome to my page. So change the color to be white. Again, I want margin, create a space, below the heading. So I want at 6 pixel, 0, 0, and 20 pixel. Font size to be 2.5 em. Padding to have a 10 pixel. The background, I want background to have transparent above the image. Let's call it a background image. Here I choose linear gradient, and this linear gradient you can combine two images together. RB here I need to add the color code 0.5 and another one RGB. Now so I need to do the same paragraphs. P. So I just copy this and change the margin. I want different to be 0, 0, 20 pixel, and the second one is 20 pixels. So font I want to be 1.2. Now I have in the main I have a slightly transparent background above the image. You can add as many images as you can, and it will infinitely use a slide here. Now we have done with the main, this section. Let's go to customize this one, the project title, and in that I have ID of project, and it is in container class, display grid template column. I want to be 1 fraction for the title and auto for the rest, and for the rest you can add whatever you want to add. It will be possible. So the second and 3 remaining fractions, and I want a grid column to be 1 and a line item to be center. Give gap between them to be 20 pixel, padding and 0 from top and down, and 30 pixel from left and right to move a bit in the center in the line of welcome to my page text. I want to add background, and the background color I want it to be a bit darker than background to be seen, and in that I use E color code. I want to add border at the bottom of project, so call it border bottom to be and 3 pixel to be solid. And now we're done with title. Of here you can add subscribe button, or you can add anything that you want to add, like you can add social media icon. So now let's go to customize the section, and sections are ID, so call it section. We have section in the container. Here I want to display grid and grid template column to set the images as a row. So I just write to repeat, each will take 1 fraction. Yeah, this section, but sections. Let's add gap to have 20 pixel space between them. Align item to be, now let's customize the figure, and we have ID sections. Let's call it figure. Picture in picture. This is to text align, center the content within each figure. So let's call it center. Let's add, I have image. This is for image section. Max width to have 100% height, be 80 pixel, width 90 pixel. So let's footer is tag itself. So let's call it footer. Display grid. Place item to be center, background to be the same as the header. Choose the color code 0033. Let's give it height, let's say 60 pixel. I want to add border top to have same color and to be 4 pixel. Solid. Footer start at the second row. Grid row start at the second, grid row end at the third. Footer, and choose a paragraph. Here we have P inside the footer. Grid row start 2, color to be white, margin to have 0, font size to be 20 pixel, height to be 40 pixel. To make the footer stick to the bottom, we have main wrapper. We need to style this, and in that case we need to choose right above So let's call it main. It is a class main wrapper, and for the main wrapper I want display grid and grid template rows to have auto for header and content. Here I want to divide it one fraction for header and rest for item. Here I have mean height. I need to calculate, subtract the footer from the height of, we choose calc, and here I have 100 VH minus 60 pixel that we get to the footer. Now this is our main page. We have header, call it logo, and we have navigation links, we have main content, welcoming page, and we have project title, and we have 3 projects, and you can add as many as you want. And we have a footer. So now we need to create a page about, and page about services, and page about contact, and organize them. Give padding, and let's add padding to 0 from top and down, and 30 from the left. So now let's go and create about page. Now let's create a about file, about.html, and we need to this hashtag, remove the hashtag and call it about HTML, save it. Now let's open about. Now as you see here, we have empty page, the about page to have the same header, same footer here, except the rest of the item. So just let's copy this and paste it here. Now let's remove everything main here. Let's go to about and see. Okay, now we have header, navigation links, and the footer with the same style. And now you can move from about to home page. Now let's go and create a new main, and inside the main create a section, and this section to have ID, let's call it main 2 in order to have a different customized. Also we create a new section, and this to have a class of container, and in the container code article, the article I want to have ID to in about page. I want to have something about here, add another things here. So I need ID to have a column, so let's call it column, and inside the column create title, and this title to have a class, so call it about me. Now let's create paragraph and add some text here, just and save it. Now we have a text here, and you can divide it into headers, education, and so forth. Below this text I want to add a social media icon. Create a div class, call it social media. And in the social media we need to have link. We can bring using font awesome. You need to log in, go to icon and write Facebook, and click here and left click, copy and paste it here. LinkedIn, take this one, now we have 4 links for social media icon. Font awesome link, I will put it on the description below, or you can copy it from font awesome. Let's go and add, now let's add a side here on the right. Let us call it a side. Let's have ID of sidebar, and in the section let's create a class, call it side as well. Title, call it my work, and add some text as well. And now we have 2 text and we have everything. Now we need to use the same style to customize it. Go right before the footer, comment it, call about section, and here we call it main 2 for the section, and it is ID, so main 2. And for this I want to add mean height to have 60 pixel. Call it container 2. This is, call it container 2 for about, to differentiate between different containers that we have in index file. And here display grid template columns. I want 2 fraction for about and 1 fraction for my work section, and add padding to have 40 pixel, gap to have it 30 pixel. Add the social media, and social media icon I want font size to have 30 pixel. Color, call it black. Padding to be 30 pixel. The link as well. About, the text, and social media icon. Let's target the title, and in the title we have font size to be 30 pixel. I want border button to be 4 pixel. Solid. Padding to have 10 pixel. Now we are done with the about page. You can write about education and everything that you want. And let's go add service. And before that, comment here and call it services. Later we come back and comment it, and let's create service.html. Now we need to link all navigation links, call it service, and in about as well, call it service. We just copy all from about page because it will be similar, but we will change the main content, paste it, and now if you go to service, you will have the same as about page. In order to differentiate on the title, let's here add web design. It is about. Here you see about, and let's go to service and also do the same, services. And when we go to services, you see the difference here. So let's remove everything from main section. And now this is our service page, and in the service page I want to have title and some project inside here. Now let's go to main, and in the main let's create a section. I give it ID and call it main 3, and in the main create article to have ID of container 3. And the container should have, this container is a class, this section actually. Inside here, create article to have ID column 1, and give it a title to be a class, title, and title to have. So make a list, unordered list here. This unordered list to have ID of service, a list here, and this list to have a different project. So just title 3, in a title 3 called web design. This is the first one. Now copy this list and paste it like 5 times. HTML5, okay, CSS 3, JavaScript, PHP. Now that's all I need actually so in the services I have container 3 class, and I have 2 IDs, services and column, and 1 more class which is title. Let's call it container 3, and this container to display grid template columns, each one to have 1 fraction of the space. Give it a gap 20 pixel, and padding give it 10 pixel. Let's give it services, and we have a list. Let's call it services, and in the services display grid and grid template columns. So this I want to have a repeat 3 equal columns on top and rest below. So one fraction, 3 on the top, like 1 2 3, and rest of the below. So 1 2 3 and 2. So when you add more or more project will go below. Let's give it a gap. And, this gap also have a 20 pixel. You can adjust as you need. Now let's with the list. So services, and this is list. So to take the dot, we write list style none, padding, give it 10 pixel, give it a border radius to have a rounded corner. It's not up here, but when we give it a background, it will surely appear. So box shadow, in the box shadow that 2 pixel, 5 pixel, and 8 pixels. And the color that I want is the same as the border that we set up below the crease, the border radius to have like 10. Services, call it list style none, margin bottom to have 5 pixel. Background, I want to change the background to have the color code E6E. Now we have done, let's give it a title, change the title, call it dot title, we call it title 3, and let's want to have 25 pixel to have a border as well, not border but border button, and let it be 4 pixel. Now we have home page, and we have about, and we have services. Now let's create contact, a new file, call it contact, and in the contact connect in all navigation links. Now it's connected to all of them. So we have home, we have about, services, contact, which is empty, there's nothing here. So just copy from the service page and paste it and replace everything except main. Now if we go to contact, we have our main page, there's nothing. Let's create contact form, and in the contact form call it section, and this have idea of this is contact main for, and in the main for section, and add a class, call it container for. Here I want to add profile picture, which is figure, class of figure to have a class, and this class call it profile to add the image here. And now let's go below and add a new section. Let this section have idea of contact, give it a title, h3, call it contact. Here I want to have a form to have a class, this class call it contact as well. Have label, and this label to have a name, input, and input text to add a placeholder, and this placeholder to have, call it write your name, a label for email, not email, email, and placeholder to have write your email. Separate it with this one, BR. Now I want a label for message, and this message to have text area, call it placeholder, and here I want to say write your message, and I want to have press button, which is submit, and we use it button. It is a class of button class of button, and it have a type of submit. Call it send. Now that's all I want. We have image here. We need to add image. Add the image here. Username, and we have the image and text. Now we need to use CSS. Let's comment and call it contact. Target the image first. Dot profile image width. I'll give it to more smaller. Grid area to be image. So we have main for add padding to have 10 pixel. Target the container and the container number 4. Play grid. Grid template columns. I want form and image to have an equal column for width, so I use 1 fraction, 1 fraction. Let's grid template area. Grid template area to have image and contact. Now let's add gap to have 20 pixel. Margin top to have 20 pixel. Contact, ID of contact. Grid area. And now if we replace, automatically they move to a side. So because we specify the grid areas and we threw each one in its place. Add padding here 15 pixel. Let's add background to have the color a bit dark and the code is, and add border radius to have 10 pixel. Color. And now let's add contact, and we have a class contact. This class, the label, also to have a color as white, and this is a color code. Customize the input areas. Input, the input first one is type text, and add the same for the email for text area as well. Now open curly brackets, call it width 100%, text area. And padding to have 5 pixel, border none, and add box sizing. This is border box sizing for predictable element sizing, so add box sizing. Border box shadow, and to have the same. Now let's customize the text area, make it a bit bigger. In that case, we just the height to 100 pixel. Resize, call it vertical. For the button, font size to have 20 pixel, color to be white, padding to have 10 pixel up and down, and left right 20 pixel, and the background color to have a bit darker, and border radius to have a 6 pixel, cursor to be a pointer, and let's give it transition. .3 smooth transition for hover. Now let's add transition to our image, profile image. Home page and about and services and contact. If you check the page, if it is responsive, you see it's not responsive, so we need to add media query in order to make it responsive. Let's go down, max width 78 pixel, and now let's give it header dot container and nav to display flex column, flex direction to have a column, and align item to be center. To display flex and flex direction to have a row, align item center, padding 0 and margin 0 as well. Target now UL list here, text align center, nav UL list links to display blog, and align center, padding to be 1 pixel 0, padding for top target, and margin to have a 0 for all space between links to be 0 0 between all the spaces. So now we have main, and this main grid template columns to have 1 fraction and margin left to have 0. Yeah, now let's target section containers. There's 3 project, so let's call it sections dot container. This to display grid template columns also take 1 fraction each one, and let's add padding, margin to have 10 pixel. To column. Grid template column 1 fraction. Here we have container 1, container 2 for about, and container 3 for services. To display grid template columns to have 1 fraction, and last dot container 4 grid template columns to have 1 fraction, and here we have this grid area, so we need to have a grid template areas here to have image on top, Now we have done with responsive media query. Let's test our page and see how it's look like. And now we have as columns, and when we go to about section, we have about first, social media icon, my work, and on the services also as column, and contact image on top, and contact section here down, and this is sent. Now here you have full page. That's it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you found this tutorial helpful, please give it a thumb up, and if you want to see more content like this, consider subscribing to my channel. Until next, happy coding.